Hello! Let's see if we can still do this shit. It's been a while. Oi, oi, oi! It's been a while since this stream has been in the good old analyst desk, of course. Hope you guys are having a lovely evening. I am awaiting Numen to start their farm of Throne and Blackwing Descent, and then we should have double Bastion of Twilight. I think that is a pretty much certified strat now that Progress has been running for a couple of weeks, and it looks like Numen likes to do the same. Hope you guys are having a great evening. I'm excited about being back in ICC. We had arguably... my mic is super loud. Back in ICC, we had arguably the most competitive speedrunning in Classic so far, where we played the same tier for like 30 plus weeks, and there were 3 guilds in the conversation. Both were coming up with new tech, but also like pushing the pace on each other, and it was extremely fun. I had a lot of fun making the shoutcast back then. Sadly, Nota is no longer with us. They've decided to throw in the towel and go and play a game that I would argue is competitively even more dead than Classic is. So I guess it's nice to just be like back to back speedrunning champ and then just peace out while you're ahead. So now it's gonna be up to Numen and Progress to battle it out instead. So let's see here. I should be able to do like this. I should be able to do like this. I figured let's look at the best Numen run so far, and we compare it to the best Progress run. So let me just pull that up for you guys. It looks like the Numen time from previously that had a time penalty has been fixed since. It doesn't look nearly as fucked up as it used to do. Okay, let me see how this shit works. The boys over at the pond. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, let's see. Does this work? Beautiful. Okay, so this is the damage profile of the currently 2 fastest runs in Bastion of Twilight, which is basically the content that we're gonna be watching today. The rest of it is just some background noise. So let's see here. If we just look at damage done overall, I pretty much have this feeling which is that mages are just incredibly fucking broken when it comes to tier 11 speedrunning. I complain about this time and time again. I did it already in my video regarding the race to world first tier 11, that I think mages are absolutely fucking god broken in this game. I was told that they would come online once they get their legendary in Firelands. The truth is they're already insanely overpowered. So yeah, you have mages at the top, mages, you have one warlock up here doing really good for himself. If you look at the healing comp of respective guilds, pretty much the same shit. Output looks to be almost identical between the 2 guilds as well. Damage taken by ability, is there anything that stands out here? Electric instability, pretty high over the side of Numen, whereas, yeah, they took a little bit too much of that. Chaining each other on council, most likely. Unlucky. If we look at the death. Corruption of the Old God, this is... Can it be avoided that mages go insane and just die due to not being able to sustain themselves? Yes. You can kill Shogal without having mages dying, but it requires the mages to play correctly, your raid series to be perfect, and I don't think we've quite seen it yet. A mage getting melee'd on Shogal, that's fucking based. Then you have the Corruption of the Blood God taking plenty of people down. You have a Quake Death that can be avoided. You have a Liquid Ice that can definitely be avoided. And you have a Blackout Death. The Blackout Death on the side of Progress, I can't speak on it directly, but sometimes it's better to sacrifice a player to Blackout in a speedrunning setting than telling him to go in and stack and share the Blackout damage on Valiona and Thralion, because that might spell really bad for your raid. If you look at the side of the PB of Numen, Twilight Extinction. I'm not really sure what that ability even is. Is that a trash ability? Oh, does the tank getting fucked over somehow over at Sinestra? That is a Sinestra ability that I can't really say that I'm too comfortable with. If any one of you guys can look that up, please fill me in. Corruption of the Old God, Cauterize. Okay, so this is people probably standing too close to the boss when the mind control happened. That's what I would imagine, at least, will happen. Thundershock, that can be avoided. Liquid Ice can be avoided. Oi, 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 oi. This is a messy council. I guess we're gonna look at it. Oi, 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 oi. You don't want to see this. Okay, let's go and just quickly look at trash. Trash damage on the side of Numen and Progress. The damage profiles are pretty much identical. Once again, you have mages being the most important damage dealers on trash. This is because their ability to combust, I would imagine. Let me see. Show me. Yeah, combustion, 8.3 million damage done in a run. I hate this expansion. This is fucking ridiculous. Nice, very good. And one of the most common things that are said about combustion is that, well, it's a bit of a lottery, isn't it? That sometimes you will do a lot of combustion damage and sometimes you just won't get that lucky. Well, just add more mages and you increase the probability that at least one of them will get lucky, right? Warrior on position number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hunter at number 5. Lock mage. Let's look at the bottom performers. Rogue, both hovering at around 4 million. Feral Druid, both around 6. Progress has a couple of people sitting at low 5. But this could also be just because there isn't that much more trash damage to do, because the mages have already evaporated everything. So, yeah. And I would imagine that the reason why warriors are decent is because they're using their Blade Storm, so they're committing a damage increase CD, I guess you could say, to get to the bosses faster. If we look at encounter damage instead, so now we're not looking at trash, you once again have mages being not only topping on trash, they're also topping on bosses, but you actually have an elemental shaman on the side of Numen that is going insane on Shogal, which is pretty based. I do this myself as an enhancement shaman. Let's see. You have a rogue down here, 46. But yeah, the mages on the side of Progress, absolutely destroying. I would say that if the mages on the side of Numen can get close to the mages on the side of Progress, Numen does have an interesting roster when it comes to the other classes, I would say. Let me just look at the bottom of tank. 28 million, 29. Feral Druid, 26.5, 29.2. Elemental Shaman down here doing 36 million, whereas this guy did 48 million. Probably has different assignments. The Moonkin, 40 mil, 39, pretty much the same. Shadow Priest, I don't think Progress uses a Shadow Priest. Probably for good reason, as they seem to be kinda struggling in this tier, because everything that isn't a mage is struggling. Red Pala, 36, 35, pretty much the same. Warrior, 43.85, 41.14. But then again, if other people do more damage, you will end up doing less. Let's look at the respective fights for this tier, because this is the first shoutcast that we're doing on this for the sake of tier 11. And I don't think you guys have seen much speedrunning content when it comes to tier 11. We've seen some progress runs. I've been streaming some of them myself. I was away this week. We were trying out Elemental Shaman at that. Hopefully I'll be back rostered again. I guess we'll see. Okay, so the way that Halfus works is basically that, in short, the faster you kill his adds, the more damage he takes. So it's all about enabling more damage done to Halfus to make the kill happen faster. If we look at the respective kill times, You have the Progress doing it in 1:32, whereas Numen is already 16 seconds behind. You can see here on the timeline that Progress finishes the fight way earlier. And you can also see the look at this damage done profile that the guilds have. That they're pretty much equal at the start, looking good. Progress does a lot of damage, Numen catching up, and then Progress just goes to town and they finish the boss much faster. What is the fastest way to kill Halfus? Well, since mages have access to combustion, the answer is mages and most probably rogues at that, because rogues are able to do a lot of a blade flurry funneling, as well as they're able to blade flurry from the boss and do the amplified damage to drakes on the side. So the more adds you kill, the more damage the rogues start doing, if that makes sense. The warrior on the side of Progress did 162k DPS, that is absolutely fucking nutty. He's probably just hitting Halfus, am I fucking right, boys? Padding, of course. Ethical guild leader. Okay, so Numen really needs to step up their Halfus, hoping to see that tonight. Thralion and Valiona, 403, 350. So here, Numen actually has a faster kill time than Progress does. But then again, it's all about how you engage Valiona and Thralion as well. Because once you kill Halfus, a door opens, you have to transition to the room that has the second boss. And there's a lot of things you can do there to gain and lose time. The biggest thing that stands out is obviously this Elemental Shaman on the side of Numen is an absolute pumper. I can't remember what I think he used to play a Hunter in Wrath of the Lich King speedrunning. But I have to say, he is doing amazing in these speedruns. So yeah, it's crazy how much he's out-pumping other Elemental Shamans. Mage topping on the side of Progress, kinda weird. How is that possible? Oh, actually not combustion. I'm happy seeing that. But yeah, this fight is all about how you keep the dragons close to each other so you're able to cleave off them, so that any ability that you would be doing to one of them would spread to the other one. So depending on how you position the drakes when they go up in the air, how close you are to the stationary drake when he is doing his deep breath in the second phase, those things matter. Another thing that many guilds that are speedrunning are starting to do is that they're no longer sending anybody down to deal with drakes downside. My wife is back in the background, very nice. Anfall body type 2. Iron Council, 331 for Progress, 343 on the side of Numen actually. Oh my fucking god. Jesus. Okay, you guys just have to cope, because I have to cope with this. Progress did manage to finish the fight. If you look at the damage profile, I would say that Numen had a slightly better phase 1. You can see the dotted line, which is Progress, is struggling a little bit. So phase 1, I would say, is on the side of Numen. Then phase 2, Numen's damage just takes a fucking nosedive, dude. And then we're back up, and we're dealing with Elementium, where Numen is doing more damage, I would say. Higher peak, at least. Let's see. Are they doing the same healing comp? Looks like it. No differences there. But if you look at the kill... Look at the kills here. You can see that Numen had a disaster pull compared to Progress. Progress had 2 people dying, whereas Numen had essentially everybody dying. It's kind of impressive that they even managed to kill the boss when it looks that bad. So definitely got a lot of room for improvement today on the side of Numen when it comes to Ascendant Council. Sounds good, sounds good. Last boss. Not really. Cho'Gall. You have favor Numen in the boss fight. One thing that Progress does that Numen might not is if you look at the engage of the fight, you can see that the Numen damage done at the start is much higher than Progress. This could be related to the way that both guilds do the trash leading up to Cho'Gall. That if you drag trash into Cho'Gall, then you have to dedicate some DPS to killing off that trash. Whereas if you kill the trash first and go straight for Cho'Gall, you get my point. Now, the thing where the damage really takes off is that you can see the damage profile being quite linear. It goes up a little bit in some... it's like a sinusoid nature to the damage curve. Most of the peaks of the damage curve is related to the fact that there's more than one target. So maybe there are 2 adherents that you can cleave on, maybe there's a bunch of small blobs that you can blow up, stuff like that. But then you see over here, you see a lot more damage being done. And that is mostly related to the fact that a lot of people go insane, making their abilities instant cast and doing way more damage. And once again, look at this elemental shaman on the side of Numen. 57k DPS. That is almost mage-like DPS actually. I think really good mages can push beyond 60k without being too lucky. But the fact that this guy was able to do 57, it sort of makes Elemental Shaman viable, that if the other mages can't beat the Elemental Shaman on a fight such as Shogal, maybe the Elemental Shaman has a chance. Elemental Shaman is really good on Valiona, I would say. I would say that it could also be better on Council. Let's see, how did he... this is actually a disaster fight. But the reason why Elemental Shaman is slightly favored over mages on a fight like Ascended Council is because in the first phase you get access to 2 buffs that increases your damage down to the respective. It's like Pokemon. You get a fire buff, you do more damage to the water guy, etc, etc. This buff gets shared to people who get dispelled. So your elementals, your fire elemental, your earth elemental, they get that buff. So if you were to look at the damage profile of this guy, you will find... What? How the fuck did this guy not do any ISO? Okay, free tech for Synkis actually. Good luck. I just gave away big tip for free. You can do much more damage. Good luck, Synkis. Okay, Cho'Gall, nothing to say. Sinestra, 441 versus 449. 8 seconds diff. What is the biggest decider when it comes to the Sinestra damage? If you see here, these guilds follow each other pretty nicely. It's pretty much about who is able to do damage while dealing with the orbs. So if you have orbs going on people that need to give up their uptime on the boss while they have their haste buff, you will get fucked essentially. So if you have really bad orb RNG making you lose a lot of DPS on the boss, it will be hard to come back. But I do think both guilds have deaths here. Let me see. No. Only the tank on the side of Numen. Progress had a clean Sinestra. Good to see, good to see. So I would say, all in all, Progress doing way better trash. But when it comes to boss fights, it's a little bit back and forth. And I think the only fight that is favored on the side of Progress is Sinestra and Halfus. Thralian Valiona is probably favored on the side of Numen. Ascended Council is dead even. And Cho'Gall is probably dead even or slightly Numen favored actually, because of the way that the Elemental Shaman has been performing. So that is pretty much the lay of the land, so to speak. That's where we are. Okay, let's see here. How are Numen doing? I think they're about to do ODS. Yes, so they're already done with Throne of the Four Winds. We're about to see... we are about to see a Blackwing Descent. Now, how come there isn't a speedrunning scene in Blackwing Descent? Well, up until last week, we didn't have any defined rules by Warcraft logs. So it was kind of hard to commit to doing any sort of speedrunning when you didn't know if all of the tactics and strategies that you were doing is gonna get completely nullified the next week if it gets an update. Now we do have a rule set. So it's actually possible that we get some sort of speedrunning scene going here. Blackwing Descent in general is a lot easier to speedrun than Bastion of Twilight, in a way that there's less hard trash, if you could say that. There's more difficult and challenging trash fights in Bastion of Twilight. The boss fights in Blackwing Descent, are they easier? Are they harder? I do think they are way more frustrating. There is definitely RNG to pretty much every fight that is in this tier, but I feel like Blackwing Descent, there's a lot of RNG that can make or break your speedrun. So we're gonna see if Numen decides to commit to something here. I wouldn't bet on it though. I'll pull it up real soon, don't you worry. Hope you guys are doing great, by the way. It's nice to be back with one of these coverages. Let's see. Here is bada bing, bada boom. Let's get the speedrun. That is the leaderboard. Nice, nice, nice. A bit hard to see actually. Can it be zoomed in? Bit hard to see there as well. Unlucky, dude. What if I do like this? Okay, that fucks it up completely. Sorry guys, the production team, a bit rusty. What can you do? It's been a few weeks since we last did this. Unfortunate. So the current record when it comes to Blackwing Descent is 25:39. Numen, as far as I know, haven't published any log going sub 30 minutes. So I would be very surprised to see them go fast here. It looks like they will start with Arcanotron though, which is considered the fastest way. 3KidDadGamer says, did you quit speedrunning? No, but I stayed as an enhancement shaman. And if you are not a mage, you have a hard time getting a spot these days. However, I was in the speedruns last couple of weeks, so I'm not despairing too much. But that's fine. I could have re-rolled as well. It's not like I have Enha Shaman tattooed in my face. It's just that that's the class I enjoy. So I accept. Could have re-rolled into a Fury Warrior. Yeah, I could have re-rolled into a Fury Warrior, failed my trial in progress, and become a GDKP one-trick pony actually. It's a good strategy. Okay, let's see. Wait, what is this? I'm getting... Let me see here. We're quickly just gonna touch base with Numen here, right before the run. So I joined the Numen Discord and we're just gonna quickly listen in to what they're doing to get hyped here. Hold on, give me a second. Alright, thanks for that incredible insight. Always a nice listening in to the Foji Death Cult. I actually heard that Foji might be relaxing a little bit, going harder once Firelands hit. I think most of the speedrunners that play in Classic right now, we have a sort of a tier 7 situation going on, or I guess like a tier 4 situation going on, where it's a bit awkward. So there's 3 raids right now that you can play, and it's a bit hard for the community to decide which of the 3 raids we want to focus on. Bastion of Twilight looks like the natural choice. Nice, very nice, I like it. But we also have this issue that Bastion of Twilight is kind of cringe and you need loot from the other instances. So dedicating all of your focus to going as fast as possible in Bastion of Twilight is indirectly hurting your guild because you're wasting time not getting more efficient at the other things. In Firelands, you get 1 raid. It's 1 instance, every loot drops from there, there's no flying around, there's no fucking Uldum portal pre-quest cringe chain. It's just you go in there and you do it as fast as you can. I'm hoping that Firelands will really bring a spark of life into speedrunning now that we have one raid to focus on again. I also do think that Firelands is way more fun than tier 11 is. Not to say that tier 11 is necessarily a bad tier, it's just it's not quite it, you know. So if you have any questions for me before we start this Blackwing Descent run, I think since they're taking all this time to get ready and shit, I think they want to try to go fast. It's quite nice to try to do Blackwing Descent as fast as you can, because you sort of get into the rotational rhythm and the pacing that you want to be once you go into Bastion of Twilight. But we have a progress world record timer at the top left that hasn't been resetted, so that's about as serious as this gets, I guess. Okay, let's see. Do you think, Hunter says, do you think Firelands is gonna be stacked with Death Knights? I mean, I don't want to speak about what I think the raid comp is gonna look like for Firelands. Do you mean for progression? Do you mean for world first? It really doesn't matter. Go watch YouTube. You'll probably find that most raids can clear everything. Oh, is this a pull? Okay, let's do a little warm-up for me as well, shall we? We got a mage POV starting off here, going hard on Arcanotron. Usually the way you do this is that you get a little bit of a buff here, and you're gonna commit a raid CD to just keep people in, and then you're gonna do it on the second one as well. You want Toxitron here as number 2, but that looks like Electron. Not quite sure which one that is yet. Yeah, Electron, so they're staying in the overcharge, using a raid CD. People dropped around 50%, it's fine. Mages are staying on Arcanotron. Rest of the people are trying to use Parse, cleave on both. A lot of Arcanotron damage coming in there. If you look at the damage profile down at the bottom right, you have cleave classes going really fucking hard. Lust has been popped on the first pool. You really want Toxitron here. Okay, so they do get Toxitron. The dream now is that they get the chemical bomb in conjunction with one of these fields. Doesn't look too good though. Okay, they lost a warrior and a DK, but it's a very fast kill. -21 on the progress world record. That is a ridiculously fast kill. Alright, let's see. So, they've already pre-cleared the trash, so there should be nothing to do here. Looking at the raid buffs, there's nothing special. They should probably be doing a vocal pull timer here. Nope, they're doing a 10-second normal DBM pull timer. They should not have any pre-pots here. They probably committed double pot to Omnitron. Alright, people moving in. This is probably what your respective guilds are doing as well. Nothing too special here. The only thing that makes Magma speedrun-esque, I guess, is how you use your Lust. As you can see, they haven't committed the Lust yet, because the goal is to get the exposed head to come down, and then almost push through on the first exposed head as far as you possibly can. So you don't Lust on pull, you don't do it on the second head or anything, on the first head that comes down. So, ads are coming in. There's actually a risk of wipe here in a speedrun scenario, where guilds tend to just not focus enough on the Blazing Bone constructs. Seen it happen quite a few times. Can take a moment here to just appreciate the UI that we're watching. I like the nameplates, I like the information on my screen. I remember watching Relly when he was a feral druid, I believe, in ICC speedrunning. But I appreciate this point of view, actually. It's a nice one. Parasites going for the tank, so nobody on the outside. There's people on the outside on the minimap, but for some reason you have a fuck ton of lava parasites on the tank. Okay, Armageddon cast, it's getting cleaved down, all good. Okay, that's a bit of an annoying... There we go, there's so many parasites getting knocked out. Dangerously getting close, nobody wants to commit any damage to them. All damage goes into Magma. I think they got this. I don't think this is necessarily risky or anything. But they committed to the Lust now. So they want to have Lust up when the Exposed Head comes. Exposed Head is down. Are they gonna try to use the Parasites as a way to funnel damage onto Magma's head? That is fucking based, if true. Okay, so boss is at 24%. The time left on Lust is 14 seconds. I would say pretty well timed Lust. 13%. You don't want to overcap here. In case they do, they need to be faster with their Lust next time. 4 seconds of Lust wasted. Now, real chads run on the left side here because it's the shortest distance to get to the elevator where you want to go. But as you can see, these people were chemically castrated already when they died on ODS. So everybody runs on a group on the right side, which takes longer, but it's safer. Now we're gonna see a rocket boot jump towards Maloriak. You don't want to touch the... you don't want to touch the elevator. That's an early slow fall. I don't see anybody too far on the left. Everybody looks to be coming in, paratrooping. Looks good. Good shit, good shit. Now you got Maloriak. Let's see if they stick to their in-game DBM pull timer or if they instead commit to doing just a vocal one. They are 17 seconds ahead. This is a very good warm-up. Okay. That was probably a vocal pull timer on their Discord. Now, the way that you do this in speedrun settings is that you're gonna skip most of the phases that maybe you guys in your GDKPs and POGs have to see. So, because of the gear that we have access to now and the absolute min-maxed raiding comps, now we're gonna get the first phase. This one you can't really skip, you need to deal with the swells. But what you can do with the black blobs is that you can use them as a way to funnel damage onto Maloriak. So, here comes the swills. Looks good. Let's see how much they commit to keeping them on the boss here. So, right off the bat, you see mages putting out their combusts. Okay. Right now, there's a lot of dark pools that you can't really see because of very severe, what do you say? Screen vomiting. There's so many effects on the ground, but it's a quite nasty situation as a melee. But as a caster, you have plenty of space and you should be taking almost no damage. Damage profile at the bottom right, you can see mages just completely obliterating everyone. One little elemental shaman is trying to keep up. This is, traditionally speaking, a really good elemental shaman fight. Alright. So, next phase is in 30 seconds. So right now, they're just burning Maloriak as much as possible. So the next phase would traditionally be like blue or red phase. We're probably not gonna see much of that. Let's see here. I would say the healing so far has been very impressive. By no means have they been close to having deaths or anything other than the extremely fast Omnitron kill they had, where they had one Death Knight and one Warrior falling short. Other than that, really good pull. Alright, boss hitting 30%. We have red phase, I think. Didn't quite see. Couple more percent. Really nice weak aura here, showing when they push. They get flames on a melee character. It's probably gonna be fine. Usually what you do now is that you have a Warlock life tapping. You can see it on the far left of your screen. He's gonna get healed by a Holy Paladin that is dragging away the green mobs. He's running, kiting them. He's gonna bubble, remove the bubble. Here you see the Rings of Frost keeping them still. Boss is at 15%. Paladin is doing a great job here, taking them to the other corner. And now we have a lot of different people with healing aggro. He removes his bubble, he still has them. So right now the Shaman and Priest are doing most of the healing, relying on raid cities. And now there's chaos. Let's see, the Shaman has a couple of them. Nice Frost Nova. Shaman died, the rest of Shaman is getting combat rest. Should be fine, should be no disaster here. Holy Pala dies, should be fine. Minus 26 when Maloriak dies. Not bad, not bad. Oh, this song is such a banger, dude. Let me just get some water. Hope you guys are having a great evening. Alright, so part of the new trash requirements is that you can no longer... You know how annoying it is to watch for the mine sooth, skip the drakes, oh my god, somebody pull the drake. None of that shit, we have to kill the drakes, it's part of the trash requirements, or you get a hefty time penalty. So what you want to see now, as guilds maybe try a bit harder to deal with these drakes, is that you commit to a drake plus trash. Drake, trash, drake, trash. Or you find ways to doing the drakes together with boss mechanics that increase your damage. That is also a possibility. Okay, so one way that you can make this trash a bit more interesting is that one of these dwarves, when they die, they pass their butts to the remaining dwarves. You see the guy that has like a red crown? Not the guy they're focusing right now, but the second guy there. He gives a damage amplifier to random people, yeah? You kinda want that buff on all of the dwarves. So usually what you do is that you want to kill him, and you want him to keep stacking that shit on as many people as possible. You kill off the dwarves, you drag it to the next pack of dwarf, but then you also end up bringing along all of the previous dwarf buffs that you did. So you will end up with what I would like to call a mega dwarf. And the mega dwarf is dangerous because of his chain lightning. So every time that they don't manage to interrupt the chain lightning now, could be a death. You can see here, DKs are really low. They're dragging the Giga Shad dwarf. Okay. And all of the new ones have pretty easy stuff to deal with. So the Mega Dwarf is dead, now it's just the easy dwarfs. Good shit, good shit. So usually what the damage profile looks on this trash is completely irrelevant, because it's all about priority targets, because they heal up when one of them die, right? So you might be thinking, oh my god, look at this Death Knight, he is pumping. But he could be padding severely as well. So kind of hard to make anything out of this damage details or whatever. Oh my god, there's a Drake pull. Do you see this? Oh no, there's a pet that has fucked something up. It's disaster, I think. Oh no. Okay. Or is this intentional, actually? This might get hot now. This is what I was talking about. I doubt this is intentional. If it is, it's fucking Giga Chad moment. They might be able to use the dwarf buff to kill Ivorok even faster. Okay, let's see. AMS is used, so that's gone. You don't really need that. Looks like an intentional pull as the hunter ran out. My chat is very observant. I like it, I like it. So, most likely, while they're waiting for the boss to come down, because the boss spawns a gong when all of the dwarves are dead and you have to wait. Rather than just standing around like a moron, they deal with Ivorok. And now they're getting ready to pull Atramedes. Atramedes had I would say a bug fix to him, that prior to that bug fix, around 8 days ago, you could hit him while he was airborne. Now you can't. So let's see. They commit to doing the boss stuns. We got 1, we got 2 in a row. Most likely this boss will die before the air phase. Let's see when the third gong is coming. Feels a bit delayed, not sure. That's the third. I believe it's a paladin doing the gongs. You can see him under the DBM timers here. That's the fourth one. So you have the boss at 65%, 4 more gongs. Okay. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Oh, ooh. Should be fine though. 2 more gongs to go. This looks kind of rough. Warlock is having a good start to his pull. No shields left. I think it should be fine. I don't see anybody really high on any form of sound or anything. But let's see. Boss is still kinda healthy. I really like the way they did Ivarok prior to pulling this, but I'm not sure. Oh, there goes one paladin is down. He's getting combat rest as we speak. He's back up. We have a couple of people with more than 50 sound. I don't see any MRT cooldown uses here. Let's see what they commit to use here on this next. Okay, so this fire is gonna be chasing people fast. So they did not make it before the air phase. Makes sense. Okay, so that's a fast fire. You can see it chasing. It's a hunter getting chased. Pretty favorable. Many of the classes in Cataclysm has movement increasing stuff now. He gets a savage roar from a druid. Nice. He's running, he's running, he's running. Creating a big circle of fire. You still have 9%. It's quite a lot left. He feigns. Let's see. Where... It's over. That was a good job. I didn't keep track of the timer, but that was really good. Alright. So, boss getting pushed. The lock had a really good pull, ending it at over 40k damage done. Kudos to him. Really good warm-up so far for the Bastion of Twilight that is to come. I don't know about you guys, I usually let people get away with clicking, but could this guy just sort some sort of auto need? It looks like he is the guy collecting loot, because my god. This just goes to show how fucking stupid mages are, dude. You start casting a Frost Firebolt and you just need on shit. Alright. Frost Firebolts on the plus Frost mobs. Looks hot, looks hot. So the Drake that's left should be the one in front of them now, going into the sleepy boss. So there's a couple of things that can happen on this boss that makes it annoying. Number one being, oh, I believe it's already been pre-activated. Nobody has run before. They probably want to do this while they're waiting for the Farian role-playing regardless. So what they do is that they intentionally skip this Pyre Claw, is that his name? And then they do him while they're activating the Farian. Pretty good, pretty well thought out. I was very skeptical regarding Blackwing Descent speedrunning, but I have to say I am happy to see that Numen is putting some thought into their run. They are not just like W, just warm up. They're actually trying to go fast here. I respect that. Makes the game more fun to play for the rest of us. Last on pull, I would imagine. Yup. Alright. Not much for me to say here. I'm just gonna rest my voice and let the music do the talking. Alright, so not much to say during Chimeron, but I figured it's a bit interesting. When this boss dies, there's a couple of activators that becomes clickable that starts the Nefarian roleplaying. Those clickable activators are close to where the Drakes were that you were seeing prior. So I'm a bit curious to see what Numen, what their plan is. When are people gonna run away from here? Are they gonna send one guy to do and activate all three? activate 2 of them? Are they gonna send more than that? I'm a bit curious to see what they end up doing. So, I switched point of view while I was drinking my water. And as you guys can see, we went from one mage to another mage. So maybe they have a couple of other classes for us to watch. I don't believe that mage POV is necessarily interesting. What is this weak aura, dude? Raid HP. Facing. What a insane weak aura. That feels like a certified Foji weak aura. I'm a bit of a Murphin enjoyer myself, but can't hate on the utility that Foji has been providing. One of my favorite weak auras that he sort of perfected during ICC was actually the Syndragosa GPS. I think everybody was using that at some point. Really beautiful coding, the way it worked. Really good shit, actually. Okay, let's see. I don't see anybody being away, activating anything, so let's see what happens now. They gotta heal up a little bit because they still are a bit low. Why is everybody chilling? There's one guy who's running. That's a rogue, it's the same as progress. So the rogue is yeeting, they're dealing with Pyreclaw. Why did I think his name was Pyreclaw when it's Pyreclaw? I don't know. I don't know where I got that from. Okay, so the Thorian is becoming activated. The Thorian is a heavy RNG fight. Basically, the thing that's RNG is the Dominion mechanic. And the best way to explain the Dominion mechanic is that you want somebody on a DPS class to get as many stacks as they can, as fast as they can. And then you want that person to get refreshed. But you don't want them to get refreshed immediately. So, example, first the minion goes on Anfal. He goes to 150 stacks. He comes out, he starts hitting the boss. Ideally what you want is that you want the Dominion to come as late as possible so that Anfal just needs to press his button once to activate it. Jesus. He really just broke his fucking pelvis jumping down. I'm a bit curious to see if they're gonna do any interesting sort of cleaving strategy with Nefarian and Onyxia. I don't think we've seen that yet. Doesn't look like we will see that. That's fine. So, the one form of DPS decrease that you as a tank can help your raid avoid is the way... Jesus, what the fuck was that spinning wheel? Is the tail swipe. If the tank knows what they're doing, they can really make or break some of the deep raid DPS. Okay, so Nefarian is out. Traditionally what you do is that you wait for one Dominion here and then everybody swaps. Nixia is really low. Dominion is out. Looks like a DK and Rogue. Can't see the rest. Moonkin. Bit bad when the Moonkin gets it, because when the Moonkin gets it, you lose your crit aura, I believe. Okay, is the tank dead? This spells disaster. Multiple people dying on the side of Numen. I think this is run over. Yep. Yep. Alright, maybe a bit rusty on the transitionings there, but kinda decent. Alright, I guess that's it for the run though. I'll take some questions from the auditorium now. If you guys have any direct questions for me, just ask me and I can entertain them when I'm losing my focus like I am right now. But I think if they wouldn't have done some of the... I've seen fucking tanks on the east front of the Ukraine better positioning and being given a better chance to survive than what these tanks did. Alright, let's see. For what doesn't make any sense. I was about to say. Waterboy says, why can't I, as an enhancement shaman, get a spot in kata raids? Oh, that's a bit of a tricky one. I think the major reason you can't get a spot is either because of your own inadequacy to play the game, or it's because of your leadership's inadequacy to understand that pick the player, not the class. You can totally get a spot as whatever the fuck you want in this race, in this tier. You don't need to play the best available class. And if your leadership thinks you do, it's kinda on them. But if you are given a chance to play whatever lousy class like enhancement shaman that you likes to play, if you play bad and you underperform, then you can't really blame them. You gotta step up, bro. Foxona says, will be doing any more runs after this one? Yeah, I mean, Blackwing Descent isn't traditionally getting speedrun this much. This is a new thing. But Numen was definitely gunning for that rank 1 Blackwing Descent, which is making me a bit interesting to see what they're gonna do for Bastion of Twilight, which is arguably more competitive. Let's see. Kia Scaria says, can you tell me about Twitch Prime? Sure can do, bud. Twitch Prime is the latest flavored by the Logan Paul and KSI drinking company Prime. Basically, they added a flavor to their Prime lineup of energy drinks, which makes you twitch really badly. A board of certified doctors in the UK have actually ruled this as illegal, as it's giving seizure-like symptoms to kids. But that is what Twitch Prime is. What else you got? I think that's pretty much what I have.
So, in DPS, it doesn't matter what your actual number is. All that matters is what you identify as.
Nice.
If you identify as 15k DPS, in my eyes, I would treat you as if you're 15k DPS.
Well, Palthrak, thank you so much for the support, man. Really appreciate it. But I do feel like a dickhead after... I guess I did the best I could. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. I saw some guy mentioning the suit before, but I feel like the suit hasn't gotten enough recognition by the chat. I feel like this suit deserves more. This is actually the... And the tie knot? What the fuck? Nobody has mentioned how well I got the tie? I don't know, man. You guys really fell off. It's not only me who's rusty, actually. I feel like you guys are kind of sleeping on the drip.
So, in DPS, it doesn't matter what your actual number is. All that matters is what you identify as. If you identify as 15k DPS, in my eyes, I would treat you as if you're 15k DPS.
Thank you so much, Silent OP. Appreciate it so much. Throwing in the Logan Paul and KSI energy drink into the pot. Thank you so much, man. Now, this mage is getting hella Dominion stacks. Poggies! Run is dead though. Paul the says, I just want to listen to the sub-speech. Yeah, I mean, the sub-speech is kinda iconic at this point, but I do feel like the 15k identification as a DPSer is a bit outdated in Kata. I mean, who wants to identify as a Shadow Priest single target DPS in Kata? Kusi says, I expect a man of your class aces to do a double Windsor. I mean, this is a simple Windsor. You want me to do two... I mean, double Windsor is for people who just want to wear like a thick monkey fist around their neck. I'm more of a simple Windsor myself. What character is Foji playing? Foji is not speedrunning. I'm not really sure who is holding the reins over at Numen, but this Blackwing Descent was really good actually. Who's streaming the speedrun from Numen? They actually have a team profile on Twitch where you can find most of the affiliated people. So right now we're watching one of the mages I don't really know. Donut says, admit it, the suit is 50% for the stream and 50% for Mrs. Anfall. I would say it's closer to 90-10, but let's have her in on it. Foji is most probably the 26th man. I mean, my man Foji is in everybody's weak auras, so I guess he's the 26th man of pretty much every raid these days. Good, good, good. Oh wow, they made it to the last phase. Wow, 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 crazy, crazy, crazy. If you look at the dynamic damage overall, I do feel like the elemental shaman is really putting many of the mages to shame. But it's a bit hard to say now because the damage is a bit inflated by who gets the minion and who doesn't get the minion. I feel like this mage has been getting a fuck ton of the minion actually. Is he the guy doing 43? No, he's nowhere on the meters actually. Nah, I have no idea actually. He's doing 23k DPS. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, one Dominion later, and he is flying on the damage meters. He is number 2 now. He's number 1 now. Wow! Mage gameplay, guys. Amazing. He sure pressed those buttons like a melody. Well played. Now, I shouldn't be disrespectful to people who play mages. They just want to be useful for their guild. How can I be mad at that? Not much to say here. But I am hopeful for the Bastion of Twilight speedrun that we will be watching. That's what I was gunning for at the start of this. I didn't even do the fucking speedrunning playlist for this Blackwing Descent because I didn't really think much of this. Oh look, here he is again. The Moonkin is currently peaking at 47k. Pretty hot, pretty hot. Let's see if this mage can catch up during this Dominion. He has some sort of execute, doesn't he? I don't know, I don't really play mages. Kevin says, light blue class does seem weak, probably needs a legendary to make them viable. Yeah, mages aren't really viable yet. You guys should... In Firelands, they really do become like A tier. Some would say, yeah, definitely B tier, but I would put mage in A tier in Firelands. Really, really good class. And the boss is finito. Alright, cool.
So, in DPS, it doesn't matter what your actual number is. All that matters is what you identify as. If you identify as 15k DPS,
I don't want
in
the
my
replay
eyes,
of every sub.
I would treat you as if you're 15k DPS.
I will go insane. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let me just... Let's see, can I pop this back up? Yeah, yep, we're safe. We're so safe. We're so good. We're so back. Okay, so some of you guys that were here for the ICC back in the days, you guys remember the giveaways, right? That shit is coming back, but I kind of want to test the waters and see if people are still interested in speedrunning, so it doesn't just become a fucking welfare giveaway of Corsair peripherals. I would never think that of people that watch me, that they only come here and their only chat message is M75, K70, or HS80. I wouldn't think that of you guys, that you just come here to yoink that shit, but it low-key sometimes feels like some of you do. So it's coming back, but not today, because I'm kind of testing it out to see just how much you guys have been waiting for this, because I sure have. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the Numen team. See if there's anybody. There's only a mage POV, so that's the best I can do for you guys. If any one of you are able to... Oh, wait, I have a Death Knight POV. Okay, let's do a poll actually, because I'm a man who believes in fair elections. Okay, on the count of 3, you will type the word mage or DK, and I will make a visual representation of which one is the most. 1, 2, 3. Major DK, major DK, major DK, major DK. Type. If you type more than once, I will just delete it. DK, DK, Denmark, 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 Mage, Denmark, 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 Mage, Denmark, Denmark. Okay, we are going with Denmark. Thank you guys for voting. I appreciate it. Let's have a look at the Death Knight UI. Please don't be ass. Okay, I can't see shit. Wait. Let me see if... This is one of the new scenes that I've created. Let me see. I call it the Dark Void. Here I am, sitting in the Dark Void. Nice. It actually works. That's crazy. I like his UI. This shit works. This shit flies, doesn't it? I like it. I think it looks good. But it does look a bit like I'm being intercepted by outer space. But fuck it. The Nvidia background removal, this is what you guys are gonna get. But I think we're gonna watch this guy's UI. It looks pretty sick, actually. Oh, another thing. I don't know. Okay. Look. I'm gonna take this moment to say that there has been some production upgrades to the studio since we did ICC, yeah? I know you guys recognize the dress, of course. Transmog came out with Kata, and I don't mean like transvestites that are mogging other transvestites, but when you have really cool clothes, you can have that in Kata now, so we got that going for us. But the other thing we do is that you guys see this little shadow? There's like shadow that makes me pop. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I do think it looks kinda good actually. Let me see if I can turn this shit on. Oh, would you look at that? That looks so hot actually. Nope, I'm going back to the alien invasion. So that's one thing that we've done. I think that's the only one that really stands out. So never mind, that's pretty much what I have. I've added shadow to the production. It's something. It's something. I'm actually getting really warm. I think I'm gonna take off my suit jacket. Okay, I'm gonna rest my voice a little bit while we fly, and if we have time before Bastion of Twilight starts, we could look at a comparison between Enhancement Shaman and Elemental Shaman in speedruns, which one I think is better. Stay tuned for that. back, we're back, we're back. Alright, so what do I have for you guys? While they're making their way to the raid, I pulled up the current number 1 and number 2 speedrun in Bastion of Twilight. Both of them are progress runs, so I figured, fuck it, let's watch. Let's see here. Right. Oh, there I am. Fuck yeah. No, this one includes everything. Fuck. I can't do this. No, this will look hella inflated actually. That doesn't work. Fuck that. Let me see if I can do better. So we're just waiting for them to make their way to a Bastion. They're close though. Is it this one? Is this one it? Is this it? I think. Maybe. Maybe I can compare these two. I think so. Okay, compare. Yes. Okay. Let's see this. Does this work? I think so. Okay, let's look at trash damage. This one is a bit sad actually. No, I can't. This one has so much shit in it. You know what, guys? I'm actually not gonna be able to deliver on this comparison. We're gonna have to do it at some other date. But what I am able to pull up for you guys is the current Bastion of Twilight speedrunning rankings. It's a bit hard to see, so we're switching over to here. Basically, you got Progress, my guild, number 1, who set a new personal best just the other day. I think it was yesterday, I was away. 21:58, then you got Numen going right now. 23:35, we talked about how they have some sections where they are faster and some sections where they are slower, obviously. Eternal, North America's champions, they did really good in the race to tier 11 world first, so I'm very happy to see that they are speedrunning too. However, are you 2 minutes behind the current rank 1 in a raid that's only 20-25 minutes long? Are you really speedrunning though? So of course every guild can try to set their personal best, they can compete for a ranking on the top 10. I think any Bastion of Twilight that is under 30 minutes is probably tryharding to some extent. So yeah, you got North America dueling it out. You got Gehenna's Zoo. Zoo is such a long-standing community, man. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I think they were around early on in Classic. They've just been around, dude. I don't know how many of them that still plays that played back then, but god damn, they've been around. Then you have, I'm not even gonna try, dude. Some sort of Russian guild. I can't even tell if that's a speedrun. It might be, right? Okay, this is the riskiest click of the day. Let's go and see what the Russian... Are they speedrunning? Did I just find the Russian speedrunning Twitch? No, they're plus 51. They are, I mean, if you're plus 51 seconds when Halfus dies, it's over. Their raid comp isn't speedrunning either. There's only 2 mates. Nope, no, this isn't speedrunning. I refuse. But it does look like Numen is starting to get ready, actually. Foxdona says, they were around from the start of Classic on Gehennas. They were true degenerates in those days. Yeah, I used to play in a guild called... I think the guild was called... I played in Dream State, and then I joined Zoo very briefly, but because they had a couple of private server guys that I used to run with, but I quit after like one raid, because Classic just wasn't for me. Then I came back when I joined Progress in late TBC, and that was that. But yeah, they've been around. It's very nice to see. Okay, so usually what guilds are doing right now when they're getting ready is that they're going over maybe a VOD, or they are going over assignments in a spreadsheet together, and they're talking about important sections. When we looked at the run that Numen did prior, their current personal best, I would say that the big choke for them is Halfus, Council, and Shogun. It looked like they did Trash just fine. They did Valiant and Valiona and Thuralion really good. They did Sinestra fine. But they really need to hit some good benchmarks on Halfus. Council, they cannot have all the deaths they had last week. And then they need to have a clean Shogun. That's what they need in order to get that PB. But yeah. While we wait, they're handing out loot, so maybe they'll go and enchant and reforge, who knows. I think we're quickly just gonna go back and check in with the Numen Discord, how they're doing. Hold on, let me see if I can just get dragged over here. Let me just see. Okay, I'm just gonna stop the music real quick. And we're just gonna quickly listen into... Yeah, it looks like Foji is actually in the call as a 26-man. So Foji is right now talking about strategy with the players. Okay, let's listen in real quick. Alright, thank you so much for that incredible insight to behind the scenes workings of Numen, everyone. It's a bit nice, since many of the top guilds don't really stream their voice comm, I'm very happy to be able to provide you with like these sort of journalistic scoops, where I use Valroff my way into the behind the scenes stuff that I have access to as a pro player myself. So happy to do that for you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Do they have a break timer anywhere? I don't see any. No. Guess we just relax. We just relax. The real Scroom says all my CPU threads are going crazy over Foji. Yeah, I mean, I was very happy for Foji when... two reasons. I was very happy for him when I saw that he was in like the top 100 biggest Patreons in the world. It's kind of crazy that a week or a content creator in Classic WoW is one of the biggest donation pages in the entire fucking world. That is crazy. That is insane. I'm really happy for him. And the stuff that he does is fucking high quality too. The other thing that I'm really happy for, and I think that's sort of what just put him straight into orbit around this gaming world that we live in, is when Linus Tech Tips actually got the entire big Foji core and Foji pack as part of his like benchmarking for next generational CPUs. So if you go over to Linus Tech Tips right now and you watch him build like an AI computer center with 500 H100s from Nvidia, they're actually doing the benchmarks on that on ultra graphics with 5 discipline priests pressing barrier at the same time on Halfus, all using Foji core, just to see if it's even possible. So it's really putting human engineering and technology at the forefront. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be insane if that happens. I don't know, are electronics gonna work after that benchmark? I don't know, maybe this is the Y2K that we all were fearing. SKS, oh my god. SQK1 says, I had to sub specifically because you made the hardest walkout known to man. Oh no, did you sub to me and I didn't hear it because I was just blasting the Foji walkout? God damn it, dude. Thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, dude. Play it again? I mean, we're gonna hear the Foji inspirational speech before the next speedrun. We've already done it once. Calm down, calm down. Jamili says, I tested my CPU stability with Foji. It is true. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even know my fans could spin that fast. But yeah, good stuff. I don't see a break timer anywhere, so we're kind of just waiting for that, I guess. Once the pull timer comes on, we're gonna blast the official speedrunning playlist. I am just gonna... It's a 20-minute high-paced, testosterone and adrenaline-filled hormonal roller coaster. This speedrun is so high intense. Really nice. I found the other day when I was playing that there's a potion that makes you look like a random member in the raid. So it like looks at what everybody looks like and then you just look like them. It's hilarious. So what I started doing is that one day I was doing pre-drinks with the boys, right? And we were like, oh man, what pre-drinking game are we gonna be doing? Oh man, what's happening? And we played some cards, and then we played Roxanne, that every time that he says Roxanne during the song, you had to take a shot. But man, after being like 26 shots in, we just didn't feel quite fucked up enough, you know? We didn't have that social lubricant that alcohol is, so we needed to push one more step. So what I did is that I joined a progress speedrun, and then I took a bet that every time I pressed this potion and I became a mage, I had to take a shot. And before Halfus was dead, I was already on the floor crying. I had alcoholism diagnosed. My entire bloodline are gonna be alcoholics now. I fucking hate mages. They are the worst, dude. No pull timer, so they're probably just watching votes based. Oh shit. Hit my toe on that. Let me see if I can find any more POVs than the ones we already have. So we have Mage DK, which was the victor of that vote. So let's have the Mage POV open, so we can just immediately go to Mage if we want to despair. It's nice. Okay, what do you guys think? Are we gonna see a personal best from Numen on their first run, or what? Their personal best is pretty good despite the disaster council they had. It's 23-35. So let's do a small... I'm a bit of a betting man myself. Type right now in the chat how fast you think this run is gonna be. And if one of you is right, you're fucking goated, actually. The current world record is 21:58. Numen PB 23:35. Type down what you think, how fast they're gonna be. And we'll see by the end of the run if anybody got it right. Okay. Alright, we got a couple of votes coming in. A couple of low 23s, a high 22, mid 22. Nobody seems to think that it's gonna be a sub 22 at least. That would be an incredible improvement, close to the world record. We got some absolute despairs. going for high 20, high 26, 27. That's a bit depressing to see, actually. I don't know, have you guys seen the Numen logo? It looks really sick, actually. Here, let me see if I can... Can I pull that shit up? I don't really have access to it. Oh, we have a pull timer! We actually have a pull timer! Let's go! And we are off. So, the plan right now is to free as many of the drakes as you can, as fast as you can, and deal with them. The faster the drakes die, the more damage Halfus takes. And the more damage Halfus takes, the faster you can start your way to Valiona. So let's see, Halfus is coming out. You can see on the right side of your screen, the orphaned emerald drakes are just getting slaughtered. Nice, nice, nice. At the bottom right, you can see the damage done profile. We have one igniting mage sitting at 200k plus. Very nice at the start of the fight. Remember, Halfus is not yet taking that much damage. So right now, Time Warden is getting absolutely destroyed. It's better to kill the drakes one by one really fast than cleaving maximum damage. Time Warden is dying. Next one, Storm Rider probably. Let's see. I think he's targeting Storm Rider. Yes. So you should be seeing now at the damage profile at the bottom right, you have a couple of people approaching 100k. I feel like the pixelation is pretty strong right now. Might have to swap to another stream if it's too bad. We got 2 people dead. Might be reset angle, I hope not. Storm Rider. It looks like a reset angle. 3 people dead. Ah, it's over. It's done. It's done. It's done. Well, so much for Undulatus, dude. It's okay. We saw this back in ICC as well. If there's any fight where you can actually afford to wipe, it is on Marogar, it is on Flame Leviathan, it is on Halfus. The timer starts when Halfus dies. Unfortunate. Well, luckily for us as a viewer though, I don't think there's much world buffs going on these days. It's a much more enjoyable viewing and playing experience. There's no Valentine's cards being used. There is no Sansas being used. So the speedrunning scene should be faster at getting back up on its feet and be able to blast. And that I am very happy for. So yeah. Admiral Boldong says, is the beginning of Botanica part of the trash requirement? No. None of the trash prior to Halfus is part of the requirement. Pretty straightforward trash requirements, I would say. I like the rule set that Warcraft Logs is giving us for this tier. I think the worst speedrunning tier that I've participated in, I think they actually outdid themselves twice in a row. I think Sunwell Plateau was incredibly awful with the pre-clearing and shit. Let's not talk about the engineering transformation for the warriors, melee range and shit. But Sunwell Plateau, the trash requirements were absolutely horrible. Then we went straight into tier 7, which was arguably the worst rule set of Warcraft Logs I've ever seen. Because it allowed for Hagan start. And Hagan start pretty much killed everybody's motivation to speedrun. It was really fucking awful. But then when Uldur came around, I felt like the rules were really good. And then when tier 10 rolled around, I felt like the rules were really good as well. And now in tier 11, we have really good rule sets once again. Can't really speak on Blackwing Descent though, fuck Blackwing Descent. We have a pull timer going. I think I want to try the other POV just to see if it has better quality. I had a little bit of a hard time seeing some of the pixelation of the Death Knight, sadly. Okay, let's see. How close are we? 1 minute. Guys, when it's around 30-40 seconds left, we're just gonna enjoy the Undulatus and then I'm gonna come back for the drop, yeah? orphaned wealth getting Omega orphaned. We want to kill the Drakes really fast here. They're out. You can see on the left side of the screen as they're just melting. One mage has already popped his combust to do a lot of damage to them. The rest of the mages are most likely saving their combust. So Emerald Drakes pretty much gone. Now we're gonna spend our time with Time Warden. Time Warden already being taken kinda low by the cleave and the AoE from the rest of the players. The next one should be possibly Nether Scion, but I think Storm Rider is a better target. Time Warden is close to dying, Storm Rider following. Remember, for every Drake that dies, Halfus takes increased damage taken, so that's why they're putting so much effort into it. Halfus is approaching 80%, that is pretty decent. The DPS profile of the players, you have 2 people, one guy over 200k, 114, 111. You want to see multiple people above 150k by the end of this. So Storm Rider is dying, now it's time for the important Nether Scion. Nether Scion needs to die fast here. This one is kinda tricky, you don't have a lot of pump to go here. Let's lower a little bit so I can just hear myself think. Nether Scion is dying, 180k, the mage is dropping, he used his combust early, Nether Scion is dropping, we got the Slate Dragon, you're not really gonna commit to that, and now we're off to Halfus. Halfus hitting 50%, really good timing with the Furious Roar. You can see Halfus is stunned as he was about to do his cast. You can see the damage profile at the bottom right as people are approaching 150k, you have one mage catching up, one rogue is slowly behind. Furious Roar coming, mage is sitting in a block, nobody dead, very cool, 20%. Not that fast of a kill, I don't think, but I guess we'll see. I might be a bit off of this. I'm a bit rusty myself. Let's see here. Furious Roar in 10. It should be definitely dead by then. There we go. Plus 23 seconds to the Progress World Record. I was right. Not very impressive Halfus. We knew going into this that Numen has a pretty weak Halfus. However, this section, they seem to be doing pretty okay. Dragging the mobs, not doing much damage to them, not risking over-aggroing. Probably gonna be gathering the mobs here. We're gonna see what type of elemental we're gonna get. Are we gonna get a shadow or a fire one? AoE happening. No mages committing. We got a fire elemental coming in. Let's watch the knockback. Multiple people going flying. Mages blinking. They're staying on it. Good shit. Good shit. I was about to see if we were gonna see a fucking first-person shooter type of mage catching them. Oh no! Church Vibes is down in the It's all over, dude. They have to commit to a full res. No, okay, they can still PB, I guess. Have to rest again. Disaster with the fire elemental. Well, the world record is gone. Now, when this happens, you have a couple of choices. One, you black out the stream and you practice. We really hope they don't do that. We want to see them just keep going. Okay, we got a bubble on the first pack. I like this. This is very risky, that's why they needed Church Vibes. So this is a double pack bubble. This one is extremely rough. Okay, Raid Cities coming in. You got a Spirit Link coming in for the melee together with the barrier. We got the Linus Tech testing going on. We got insane lags for everybody involved, but shit is dying. It's very important the person that gets the flames on the moves out now, or this might spell disaster. Mobs are dying very nicely. They fucked up on the fire elemental, but this was a good pull. Question is, are they gonna try to kill it off so they can get a pre-pot before pulling? Minus combat, we're gonna see one pre-pot and one combat potion. This is different from what Progress is doing. Progress is dragging trash into Valiona and Thralion, missing out on one damaging potion. Now, they put the bosses directly over and under each other so that mages can spread their damage. You can look at the damage profile and you see classes that are able to spread their damage, cleave their damage, are doing great. So, on the left side you see some sort of boss frames here that shows the mage debuffs possibly on both of the bosses. Let's see how that turns out. This has traditionally been a very good Numen fight. They've been able to do really good on Valiona and Thralion. I've seen up to 12 seconds faster kills than the Progress World Record here. Nothing special here. I don't think they're gonna send anybody down. If they do, I'm curious to see which one they commit to. They are playing 7 Unholy DKs. This is very different from Progress actually. So Numen, I didn't recognize this before. 6 Unholy DKs and 1 Blood DK actually. Progress, on the other hand, is playing more mages, so a more mage-heavy comp. Of course, Unholy DKs are better than mages on fights such as Valiona and Thuralion, and on Council. But Halfus, Trash, Shogal, I would say mages are favored. Sinestra, I would probably argue that DKs are better on that fight. But how are they gonna make up for how incredibly broken mages are on the trash damaging aspect of a speedrun? We'll see. Elemental Shaman popping off. This is a really good Elemental Shaman fight. I do think they sent people down. See them coming out there. A warrior is back on the boss now, and a Retpala is back on the boss. Alright, so this one is a bit of a crux. Right now there's a lot of raid damage. This one requires good CD usage. You can see the blackout number 3 is supposed to be AMZ. But overall, looks decent, looks decent. We got the deep breath coming up in 50 seconds. Ideally, you want the bosses to be dead before the deep breath phase is over. Oh, you can see the Elemental Shaman has the debuff. Look at the Elemental Shaman damage. Over 40k now that he has engulfing. Look at his output. Second engulfing is on a healer. That is unfortunate. Got engulfing magic coming up in 10. Okay, this engulfing might be important for the damage output. Let's see who it goes on. Mage? Triple mage. That's good, that's good. Can they survive though? One of them is dropping low. Triple mage engulfing is really nice. Okay, let's see. The breaths are coming. Breath number 2. Boss at 8% should definitely die before the air phase is over. 2.8%. It should die before the breath. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay. So, let's see what they do here. You have a couple of options. You can just immediately pull this mob, or you can soothe it and run past it and do it later. They decide to commit immediately. That is a standard approach. Rocket boot usage being done, but you can't really run in front of this mob, or you risk getting cleaved, whirlwinded, I don't know, Karate Kid. Wash your feet. So not watch, but wash. Very Muslim, very halal gameplay. 30%. Okay, now it's one of the riskier moments of the speedrun. What they're gonna do now is that they're gonna gather all of the elementals and AoE them down. Most likely one of the tanks are gonna die, that is okay, but then they have to commit some sort of combat rest before engaging the bosses. The next boss is a very favorable fight. Okay, let's see here. All of them are gathered, looks good. They got 2 mages probably committing to the combust. No, all of them are sending it. 4 mages combusting. Don't see anybody except for mages on the damage meter. You got a Blade Storming Warrior and a Metamorphosing? Is that a word? I don't fucking know. A Warlock anyway. Shadow Priest doing decent, but then again, Shadow Priest doing half of that of a mage. Yikes, Mikesh. Okay, let's see. They probably want to go for a pre-pot here. Minus combat, pre-pot. Now, let's see how they can even this out. Taking their time here. And we're going. Got the pre-casting off. Committing the start of the damage to Feludius. Normally what you do is that all of the raid are focusing Feludius. Then you're gonna get the first raid buff that increases your damage taken. Damage done, rather, to one of the 2 bosses. And then Ignatius is just gonna melt. So we're gonna see it coming out soon. Let's see. Do we get to the buff? We sure do. I didn't quite see what buff they got, but looking at the damage that they did, okay, he has to block the damage. Oh, one guy is dead. They kept the bosses on each other, so Feluria's Glaciate went off. People over 70k. Melee is definitely having a buff right now. Flame Imbued is out, pushing really good damage here. Okay, let's see what they do for this second Glaciate in 8 seconds. Bosses is at 34 and 40%. Now, they start their transitioning at 25%, but you can't push beyond that. So now you just gotta push. So any percentage damage you do now is valuable for the last phase. Okay, let's see. Both of them are getting dragged towards the center, so whereas progress keeps them more on the stairs. We see a whirlwind being out, preferably gonna get taken by most of the melee as the tanks will drag it there. Let's see. Interrupt comes through, looks good. Oh, he's got a... Oh no, that's the wrong... Oh no! Did he not notice that I has the wrong buff? Okay, Priest is dead. I think that's the Discipline Priest. Oh no, now he has the wrong buff again! He got tornadoed. What is this? Bro, you have to change in like 12 seconds. You have to swap! Or... Please! Please! Oh, you're gonna push. They might push. 2 seconds, 1 second. Push. You're safe. Okay, easy. He knew that all the time, guys. I was just stressing out. He knew what the fuck he was doing. I was the one panicking, not him. He was cool as a cucumber, actually. Alright, so now we're gonna get the combined health. We got 33 million Elementium Monstrosity. I think some of the cleanest councils I've seen Elementium Monstrosities with less than 30 million health. I think they're 2 healing this now, which is probably fine if they manage to kill it fast enough. So they've lusted, now they have to push. It's quite the long Elementium Monstrosity phase, actually. Okay, so what do they have to commit there? First, Gravity Crush. The healing hymn is gone, but they are... Oh, they don't have much. I think the Druid might be toast here. Yep, Druid toast. Everything else is fine. Warrior is fine. Now, here comes the crux. Now there's a lot of damage. One mage is hovering Death Zone here. They're not spreading their chain too much, though. Looks pretty good. Spirit Link Totem was used. I like it. This is not gonna end well. They have to push before this gravity. Oh, if it grabs a healer now, it's so fucking over. But it grabs DPS. Okay, they're dying, but so is the boss. Please. Please. Okay. Please. Okay. Now we're gonna get a mass rest from the Elemental Shaman, but he's Okay, the Pharaoh Druid is mass resting everyone. It's a pretty disastrous council again. Again, we can't look at the splits too much because we know that between Halfus and Thuralion and Valiona, they had to wait because of the Fire Elemental. But look at the time difference between Thuralion Valiona kill to Ascendant Council. That is that 19 seconds loss? That is really rough. Usually this is a pretty good section for Numen. Hopefully they can have a strong Cho'Gall now to at least feel warmed up for the next one. That's what I hope. They can still PB though. I'm pretty sure they can still PB. Okay. Mobs are being gathered by the Paladin, getting dragged in right now. Are we gonna see Combust committed to this? We have a Death Details window at the bottom right. I would imagine somebody's committing to the Combust. Yeah, here it goes. Here are some combustions. Okay, let's see if they decide to kill the Faceless Guardian and pre-pot, or if they possibly can't. I don't think they can. Do they have pot ready? Yeah, not sure. Yeah, they do. Yeah, he has. So they pre-pot on Cho'Gall. That is another thing that's different from Progress. Progress usually pulls the boss together with ads to start the fight, whereas Numen likes to get their pre-pots. Very important to parse, of course. Now, the way that you usually do this is that you're gonna have 5 mages and 1 elemental shaman going insane. So you wanna get hit by as many of the crashes as you can to speed up the process of going insane. And if you look at the cooldowns, they have quite many CDs lined up in their MRT profile. Should be good. Let's see here. We got... I can't see an adherent timer anywhere, but it should be getting close. Pulse is at 80%, that's pretty decent. Adherent ads are out. Okay, so now we want to see some nice explosions. Or crashes, rather, not explosions. We want to interrupt those. So let's see what we get. Shadow crashes in melee, mages running in, gets hit by 2. Nice. I think 1 mage only got hit by 1 of them though. So let's see if they can get any more crashes. 1 more crash coming out. Can they get a delayed crash number 4 maybe? Looks fine. Alright, they should be getting insane here. You can see the corruption tables here that they have a warlock going on the first insanity as well. Sometimes you see warlocks committing to the second one as well. Alright. Big damage coming out. Elemental Shaman topping right now, but I'm assuming that's about to change. Elemental Shaman is really good once they go insane because of the chain lightning value on the elementals, but also on the adherents. Really good value. Elemental Shaman is approaching 50k. %. Adherent ads in 2 seconds. These ads are only gonna get interrupted, they're not gonna get killed. So this is a bit of a dangerous position to be in. It's very important that people that can avoid damage, avoid as much as possible right now. Elemental Shaman is cranking. Got people approaching 50k now, getting better, getting better. He's farming some runic power, salute. Good shit, good shit. A lot of damage going out in the melee camp if you look at the raid frames at your left side behind me. 20% coming up. Okay, looks very good. Let's see if they can survive this very dangerous stage now. Everybody looks very healthy going into this. We got anti-magic zones coming out. Pain Sub was used to keep 1 guy alive. Let's see, the mages should be 2 are dead. 3rd one should follow really soon. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Elemental Shaman rests 5 more % of the boss. The Warlock is still alive. Warlock also dead. They've lost all of their insanity. 2 more %. 1 DK is also dead. Okay. So they lost on that section again. Pretty damning situation for Numen, even though they feel like things are going fine. They are losing every split to progress. Okay. This is a bit of a dangerous position because as you drop down after having done Shogal, there is a lot of environmental damage going out. So just like Greta Thunberg, we want to avoid as much environmental damage as we possibly can in this section. Let's see here, 2 people are dead. I think the run is over. They're 1 minute behind, meaning they could still PB here. Their current PB is 23. Fucking base, dude! Might as well get some runic power while we wait for the slackers. Am I fucking right? The Denmark mains. That's fucking Giga Chat move, actually. Enjoy the music for a bit. Alright, so the run is not gonna be a world record, but it could still be a personal best. So we're hoping for some clean orb handling here. There are, I would say, two things that are dangerous about this fight in a speedrun. Number one is how you handle the whelps. It might sound super obvious, of course, but in a speedrun scenario, killing of the whelps happens at different stages than you normally have in your average run. So whelps are a bit different. And the other thing is that you can not greed the orbs, but you kinda don't want orbs to go on the wrong people either. So it's very frustrating if you get double orb in melee, for example, and they both have to run out. If you get double orb on a healer, you're like, fuck yeah, dude, this is the kill. So they lost on pull. They've done the first set of ads. I'm getting flashbanged by watching this red thing on my screen. Thank you, screen vomiting Blizzard, of course. I think this fight favors the Numen raid comp. I think this fight is really good with a lot of Death Knights, because the way that Death Knights are able to utilize haste. I understand Blizzard's original idea that, okay, we want to have a damage amplifying ability on this fight to make it feel like an end wing boss fight. What sort of buff helps both casters and physical DPS? And they thought about it for a minute and they decided, well, haste increases the cast speed but also the attack speed. So I guess haste is a really good middle ground. Otherwise, if there was just a caster buff, then everybody would be playing casters. If it was a physical buff, everybody would be playing physical. So yeah, fuck yeah, haste, why not? The problem is that 1% of haste does not scale equally across all classes. There's a lot of classes that benefit more or less from haste. So it's really not that balanced of a buff. But I'll forgive Blizzard considering this was way back in the day. And surely they've learned from their past transgressions when it comes to game design. Surely the War Within will not have these type of stupid buffs in them. Alright, so Sinestro is on her way to get killed. The only way you really wipe here is if you have tank deaths followed by multiple melee deaths. I can't see how many healers they're sending here, but I think the Russian guild, that's a bit of a parsing guild as well. We're sending 2 healers on this fight actually, but it looks like a healer. I think they're playing 3 healers, the same as Progress. But I actually think that this fight can be 2 healed. Maybe we will see it someday. But yeah, pretty good run. Apart from the fire elemental, there wasn't many huge mistakes, not that we can see from a spectator point of view. I'm really hoping that they can get their shit together for the next run, and hopefully they have a plan on how to deal if they get a fire elemental. Basically, it's a 50-50. You can get a shadow, which is a root, or you can get a fire elemental going to Valiona and Theralion, which is a knockback. The knockback is obviously a bit of a disaster in a speedrun compared to the roots, but yeah, they definitely could have handled that way better. But looks like they didn't quite have a plan for it. Alright, 30%, no deaths so far, ignoring the whelps at this point. Not only because it's not part of the parsing anymore, but also because it's fucking the right thing to do. 20%, 1 minute left on the buff. It's dying. 15%, then we're gonna get the main roster after this, is what I'm hoping for at least. 9%, no deaths. I mean, their split is gonna look awful. This guy has the old split record as well. Oh, no, it's not good, man. This isn't the run. 24-23. It's not what you want to see, of course. But it might be a personal best though. 24-23. No, 23-35 is the Numen PB. Yikers, bikers, my guy. Alright, let's take some questions from the auditorium right now. If you guys have some questions for me while we wait for Numen to get their shit together for the second run. Let's see. It's really good if you ask questions directly to me if you @Anfall, because then I can like click and I can just go from the top to bottom and see what you guys added me in. So let's do that. @Anfall. Hey Anfall, do you have any thoughts on how to keep the fire elementals alive during swills? I don't really, and I don't think it's that important. I think one way that you can do it is that the swill damage pretty much only happens under where players are, right? So if you put the fire elemental somewhere there isn't a lot of players, you can maybe keep it alive a little bit. Goshark, I don't know how to say your name. J-A-W-G-R Shark says, do you think there's a chance for interest into dungeon speedrunning in Cataclysm? My gut reaction is no. I don't think so. I don't think Kata dungeons are interesting enough to warrant any sort of like MDI gameplay or anything. I don't think so. Crypt says, where can I get that banger playlist? No, this one is not publicly available yet. I think the only way for you to get access to this playlist is actually tune into my speedruns. It's part of the production. Arson says, Anfall, which private server was your best experience in the past? Oh, I can't pick a single one. But I would say, rather than say what server was my favorite, I do, looking back, I've had the pleasure of meeting some really cool people when I played on private servers. And many of those people I wish I played with to this day. My consolation prize though is that I found another community in Classic that I've had a lot of fun with and keep having fun with. So I'm pretty sure in a couple of years I'll miss Progress as well. Just like I miss some of the communities that I had on private servers. So can't really say a server. Alright. Abraham says, Anfall, how do you make sure your fire elemental attacks Sinestra and does not run for wells or just go AFK? As soon as the egg dies, you summon your elementals, and they will hit their closest target, which is Sinestra. Arson says, Anfall, why is Botanica the preferred speedrun raid over Blackwing Descent? I talked about this briefly at the start of the stream, and it's mainly because Blackwing Descent didn't have any trash requirements until this week. So before this week, we didn't really have any point in committing seriously to trying to do Blackwing Descent any faster. But now that both raids have it, you could argue that why not speedrun Blackwing Descent? But a problem with that is that speedrunning is all about executing a plan. And if you have to divide your attention too much between two raids at the same time, both are probably gonna suffer. So what is the most fun? Go fast in both, or try to find perfection in one? Jev Lampy says, do you have any tips for elemental shamans? Not anything that I can say on this platform, no. Waterboy says, how old are you? I am 33 years old. Scroom says, Anfall, what are you most hyped about in future Kata content, and why is it going resto for speedruns? I'm gonna slash time out the real Scrooms. There we go. Wower says, do you think Fireland speedrun will be more popular than Phase 1 raids? Yes, I talked about this briefly in the pre-game show, that Firelands is not divided. So if you think about the way that Tier 11 is working, it's just like Tier 7. Instead of having Naxxramas, Obsidian Sanctum, and Eye of Eternity, you have Throne of the Four Winds, Bastion of Twilight, and Blackwing Descent. Dividing the attention of guilds across triple raids for the same tier is generally really bad for speedrunning. But in Wrath of Lich King, we went from Tier 7 being 3 different raid instances to getting only Ulduar. The problem with Ulduar is that we had to do 10-man content. In Cataclysm, we now go from 3 raids to 1 raid to focus on. That's great, that's awesome, much better for speedrunning. And we also can't have competing interest playing 10-man. It's only 25-man Firelands. That's the only content you will be playing. So I have a lot of reasons to believe that the speedrunning in progress will see a drastical quality improvement, that we only have 1 raid to focus on. And the fact that we don't have to focus on doing 10-man content like we had to do in tier 8, I think Firelands can become a really, really fun speedrunning tier. The one thing I'm a bit worried about when it comes to Firelands speedrunning is, number 1, the trash requirements, because Firelands has a lot of really fun and interesting skip mechanics. But if we do too many skip mechanics, it becomes sort of an arms race similar to the Race to World First, and we could end up with a Hagan situation in tier 7, where guilds will be starting in the most cringe fucking locations to have the best path or the best speedrun and shit. So I'm a bit worried about the Warcraft log rules ruining the fun of speedrunning in Firelands. And the second thing that could be really fucked is that if Progress wins this tier with several minutes, why would anything change going into Firelands? So I'm really hoping for other guilds to step up, because I don't believe that it's good for my guild or the scene as a whole when one fat cat just gets lazy. I want Progress to have to fucking work for your shit. Oh my god, I got flashbang. Hold on, let me fix this. Hold on. That works. That works. So yeah, I'm really hoping for other guilds to push Progress. So let's see Numen run 2. Let's see, Wower says, will Progress compete both in 10-man and 25-man Firelands Race to World First? I can't speak about Race to World First in any capacity. Pat the Postman 96 says, what trash requirements are there? And can you see it somehow on Warcraft logs? I think it's Google. You can Google it. Otherwise, it's in the Discord, the official Discord, so you can find them for sure. Arson says 25, I think, is gonna be the only race that matters. So one thing that we have now going on in Classic is a bit frustrating in my opinion, and that is the thing that there's a debate regarding, okay, what is the real race to World First? Is it the person that kills Ragnaros on the Heroic in any raid size? Or should it be 2 different categories? That you have Race to World First 10-man, you have Race to World First 25-man. The problem with having 2 separate categories for essentially the same content, dropping the same loot, is that the player base that is interested in speedrunning gets very divided. There's plenty of really good people that are probably gonna commit to 10-man Race to World First. And if a lot of good people commit to 10-man Race to World First, what does that mean for the 25-man competition? Well, it becomes less prestigious. So I'm overall, I'm not really a fan of deciding or gatekeeping what other people should think. If you think that the Race to World First tier 12 is whoever, regardless of raid size, that kills Ragnaros, you are entitled to that opinion. There's in-game achievements that are shared, whatever. Why would one be better than the other? I'm just sad that the quality of the player base is suffering because of the division between the two. Arson says, do you think that Firelands has the potential to be more popular than Dragon Soul? Oh, for sure. I think Firelands is way more anticipated than Dragon Soul. I don't think it can be compared. I know that Blizzard actually did a speedrunning PvE contest in Dragon Soul. You can watch it on YouTube. It's between like Vodka and Insidia or something, I think. It's pretty cool to watch back. But I think the reason why they did that in Dragon Soul is not because Dragon Soul was more popular. I think it's because they saw how popular PvE competitive was. So that's why. Then again, if you want me to answer your questions, keep using the @anfall thingy. I'm gonna go and get a glass of soda, and I'm gonna be right back. Okay? Be right back.
Frozen when your heart's not open. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. Give yourself to me. We'd never be apart. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. If I could melt your heart.
Alright, let's see here. Looks like they're getting ready to go into Bastion again, so that's nice. I appreciate when they do back-to-back speedruns. It's really good. Let's see, was there anything else? @anfall. Do you think they will release Firelands before October? I don't really know a timeline. We haven't seen a PTR announcement yet, have we? Since Tier 11 is already boring for most of the players. I don't really think that Blizzard ever takes the player base level of engagement or happiness into their considerations. They have a timeline, and it's very hard for us to have any insights to the inner workings or decisions being made, because all the people working at Blizzard has signed hefty non-disclosure agreements. So if they were to come out and be like whistleblowers telling us, they would just get fucking sued into oblivion. So they don't do that. So the only thing you have when it comes to, hey, when do you think this content is coming out? It's like you have fucking WoW astrologists that are like, Sulgurub came out 6 days after the Greek holiday of the Cypriotian calendar on the 6th of the archipelago. That is why when the second round of PTR will happen, it means that Firelands is imminent. My bet when assessing the current WoW builds on Wowhead is that because of the Cancer being in alignment with my Twine Ascension, that means that Firelands will come out on September 28th. And it's like, okay, based on fucking what? And they're like, oh, because there's a pattern, it's very easy. Like, this happened with Blackwing Lair, it happens with Ankh-Raj. I'm pretty sure I have this figured out. And then it turns out that they're fucking wrong. And then they're fucking quiet. And they get bullied. Robert Favre says, Stars, Paragon, Blood Legion, Exorcist, Dragon Soul Challenge worldwide. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun actually. It's a really bad event and it was really bad gameplay, but it's kind of funny that they did it. Considering that speedruns, as far as I know on retail, speedruns are now 100% an MDI thing. 5-man content pushing keys. That's what speedrunning is. And races to world first can't really be compared to speedruns because races to world first are more about your ability to learn things fast. Whereas speedrunning isn't really about learning things fast, it's about learning from your mistakes over time and coming up with a nice strategy that is executable. But the races to world first are like people solving Rubik's cubes, and it's completely different type of play. Not completely different, but it's definitely a different type of player that is good at different sides of it. I don't think that people that speedrun need to be particularly good at playing the game while being sleep deprived. Whereas people who play retail races and shit, they have to be able to manage that. Seb says, speedruns with skips is fun to watch, it requires very high skill. Both yes and no. I think if you enjoy skips and creative ways to dodge content in order to get faster, you probably enjoy races to world first in Classic as well. Because that's when player creativity and problem solving can really shine through. Oh shit, a hunter pulled the trash, ran that way, he feigned, he gets summoned. Like, that level of creativity is very fun to watch. But it kinda gets old after a while. Do you know what I mean? Like, if people do the same creative stuff every week, how creative is that? So I kinda like the fact that in Classic we have these races to world first that are all about being creative, finding a competitive edge, and then being able to execute that without risking wiping, for example. Because most races to world first in Classic has actually come down, at least since I joined in RAF. If you wipe, you pretty much lose the race, I would say. So you can't be creative to the point that you're taking so big risks that it might cost you a wipe, because then all of that creativity kinda goes out the window. So yeah, I think Classic is a very fun way to play and approach World of Warcraft. Whereas if you play retail, I feel like it's all about the progression, and that's a lot of fun. But after that, the farming stages of retail are much longer and much more painful, in my opinion. Wower says, but with PTR in Classic, race the world first looks like speedrunning somehow. Well, I would say even now, the best guilds in Classic, they are also playing on, they have access to so many things to make the next tier easy for them. They have access to their own players, and their players have maybe played the content back in the day, or their players have played it on the illegal private servers that I do not condone. I am a strong believer in Blizzard's intellectual property of World of Warcraft. If you play on any server that is not sanctioned by Blizzard Games, I believe you are a nasty person. But many of the people that play in top Classic guilds, they also have private server experience of the content. And having private server experience of the content is just incredibly valuable when you go into the official PTR. Because if you go into a PTR, which is the public test realm that is usually up for a weekend, if you go into that and you're seeing content for the first time, like, oh my god, is that the Mimir on hard mode? Then it's gonna be a really rough session. But if you've done Mimir on hard mode a bunch of times and now you get to see it on the official PTR, now you're starting to see how that could become a competitive advantage, because you're so many pools ahead of the rest. So having access to history, having access to private server experience makes PTRing much more efficient. Kinda rough. Retail progression feels so rewarding. I mean, that's for everybody to decide for themselves, I guess. I think progression in anything in life can feel rewarding, so. So. What's happening on the side of Numen, by the way? They're having the biggest break. It almost feels like they're waiting for someone. Let's go over to the Void. I kind of like the Void, actually. It's kind of cozy up here in the Void. Orson says, what do you think they will do after Cataclysm? Just keep releasing content? It's a fucking money printing machine. Just go next. There's like zero development. So easy to just keep people hooked on the game. So free, dude. Orson says, what do you think they will do after Kata? Yeah. That's what I used to reply to. Good shit. Orson says, so Mists of Pandaria is next, even though they just had a remixing event? I mean, this is just me speaking my mind. So, okay, so get your tinfoil hats out, yeah? Okay. This is my... I have no backing for this. There's probably other people that have said this, and this is just my puzzling the pieces together, yeah? Okay. So, you have the WoW intellectual property... the WoW intellectual property providers in China doesn't get their Blizzard Activision contract renewed. This is during Wrath, early Wrath. So, WoW in China gets fucked, basically. Heavy negotiations happen behind the scenes behind NetEase, which is the Chinese provider, and Activision Blizzard, which is the people giving them access to Blizzard content. So they talk behind the scenes, and they somehow, somewhere around late Wrath of the Lich King, reach an understanding that we want World of Warcraft back in China. How are we gonna get World of Warcraft back into China in a big way? Because a lot of the Chinese player base have moved on. They're playing other games, maybe they've switched to another region. There's so many things these Chinese people are doing now instead of playing WoW. How do we get them back? Number one, we relaunched Wrath of the Lich King because that is the most hyped version of Classic, so we don't follow the rest of the world. So China is gonna take their TBC characters into Wrath. That's number one. Number two, for the retail, we make a remix of the most Asian romanticization of WoW content there is. For retail, we make Mists of Pandaria remix as a way to attract the Chinese player base. We make store mounts related to it. We make it a centerpiece of our content. We contact content creators in the rest of the world, and we get them hooked on mop remix, fresh. I believe the entire mop remix was just a big marketing and PR ploy to try to get either the Chinese and Asian player base interested in the game again because of the lore and everything that it allures to that is like Asian inspired. But I also do think that there's a lot of weeaboos in Europe and North America that watch way too much anime and manga, and for some reason they love the thing about ninjas and Asia and ooh, anime. So I think Mists of Pandaria Remix was just a marketing ploy. I don't think it has anything to do with Mists of Pandaria being next in line after Kata. The fact that WoW Classic went from Wrath into the post-cataclysmic world of Deathwing, that to me would make sense for them to just keep dropping the rest of the expansions as well. Why stop now? It's fucking printing cash. Why not? So yeah, that is my idiot take on all of that. So no sources, I got nothing to back this up. Maybe my timeline is screwed up, but that is how I see it from the outside. EWEVIC says it only got sorted after Microsoft took over. Well, then again, if that is the pattern you think you're seeing, I don't think any one of us have the insight needed to know what these negotiations look like. And until a whistleblower comes out and just speaks on it, I don't fucking know, dude. But nobody that seems to be working with the WoW development team or any of the business decisions regarding WoW ever speaks on anything. Like, people think that World of Warcraft has been a mismanaged product for so many years, but we never have any whistleblowers. It's crazy to me. Man, are they waiting for someone or what? Did their raid comp change? 5 mages. 6 unholies. No, it's a cloned run for sure. Cloned run. Arson says, why would you risk your career in NDA suits over World of Warcraft? I mean, look, I wouldn't, but I have to pay respects to Blizzard that they're fucking keeping the lid on, dude. They are doing great with keeping the lid on. X-Baltork says, if you open up 1 or 2 buttons from your shirt, you could be a meta female Twitch streamer. Only thing missing is Alta. Did this guy just say that I look like a girl? And is that a harassment or is that a compliment? I'm so fucking confused. I don't even know. Am I misogynistic if I take offense to that? Wait, am I getting banned off this platform just because even thinking that was an insult? Fuck, dude. So hard to be a streamer these days. Arson says, well, I would say there's plenty of shit they couldn't keep a lid on. QB crawling. Alright, so they're clearing trash instead of doing the skip. I'm not sure about this one, but I guess we go. Overthinking is a curse and a blessing. No, it's just a blessing. Imagine living life not overthinking things. It's so much fun though. Just let your brain fucking go nuts with it. Man, I need to do more streaming from the void. This is so nice. So cozy. Alright. Ooh, BOE. When your wife pops up at the back randomly, it adds to the void vibe. Well, yeah, she kind of breaks the immersion, doesn't she? Oh, ruining the professionalism of this broadcast. I forgive you. You know what, guys? While we're waiting for them to get ready, is it today, actually? It's today, right? Today is the 1 year anniversary of me and my wife being married. I keep thinking it was on Saturday because, well, we got married on a Saturday. But looking at the date, it's actually today is 1 year of being married. And we were speaking about it. Best year, dude. Very happy to say. Valandry says, must be the anniversary she wished for. Ah. Don't be like that. Alright. Thank you. Finally getting ready. Alright, I'm gonna go take a leak while we wait for Numen to get their shit sorted. Let's see here. Pop. Pop. Okay, so it looks like Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Numen is getting ready to go, and we are once again, just one last time of the night, just gonna quickly check in on Numen Discord. Let me see if I can get this working so we can just see what Foji has to say to inspire his troops. It's pretty rough first run. Let's see here. Foji. All right, thank you so much for that incredible insight to what high-end PvE looks like when you're inspiring the troops. Very nice to see that Foji is still hanging around, even though he's not playing, just helping out his fellow Numen gamers. I have to say though, you guys seeing this? This chat cover that the Numen players are using, that has fucking Foji flying on a rocket. It looks so good. That is a very clean aesthetic, actually. I should make something similar to Progress. Oh shit, actually. Man, how long has it been since they sent their run? They are not very fast at going, aren't they? Curious X's have Ampel flying off the Nessie plow. / timeout Curious X. Whiskey says, who would fly on the Progress rocket ship? Yeah, beats me, dude. I wouldn't just steal it straight up, but something similar for sure. Not sure if a rocket is necessarily much of a Progress symbol. Guys, what do you guys when you hear the word Progress Guild? What, we don't really have a Foji, or we don't really have any of the trademarks. I'm kind of curious what people on the outside, when you hear the guild name Progress, what sort of image pops up in your head? Like, what do you associate the guild name Progress with? Sweat? It's kind of hard to make art based on sweat potatoes. I would imagine you mean the player potatoes and not like the vegetable. I think about Tetsu. Well, Tetsu is in Numen now, so it's kind of funny that he's still the brand of Progress. He would love that. I think about piss bottles. Definitely not doing any art related to piss bottles. But Landry says constant improvement. I mean, that's what the name is all about. So if that's what you think when you hear the guild name Progress, that sounds good. Anhilis says, honestly, Anfall? What the fuck, dude? Thank you, but yeah, maybe. I only started watching in Wrath of Lich King, so I think about Anfall. Kia says, I think about human resources. Kia is an officer of Progress, so he has done his fair share of Discord DMs, actually. Okay, is that a pull timer? Yes! Yes! Okay! Oh! Alright. And we are off. Fucking finally, boys. Let's go. Alright, so what we want to see here is that we want to see really nice and fast cleanup of the ads. On the right side of your screen, you can see the orphaned emerald dragons just getting omega orphaned, getting killed really nicely. After this, we should be seeing the time warden being the center of focus. It's already at 60%. Nice cleave onto the time warden, actually. I believe many of the single target classes are focusing it. Looks really good, looks really good. What are the other ones at? Again, for every Drake that dies, Halfus takes increased damage. If you look at the damage done at the bottom right, you can see one mage over 300k. He's the guy that took care of the Emerald Dragons. You have one Warlock sitting at 142k. This is better than the previous one. If you want to have a competitive Halfus, you kinda need a lot of people to finish in the ranges of 150k. But the DPS will go up on some classes as these Drakes die. Storm Rider dying, Halfus is going to be taking considerably a lot more damage now. You have the Death Knight already going on Halfus actually, not committing to the Nether Scion. Not sure about that one actually. So he's sending... Surely he's Pestilencing onto it, sure. Frost Kebab is still sitting at around 200k. The Rogue is catching up 128k. Paralysis is coming at hopefully around 50%. They hopefully dodged the stun roar here because of that. Oh, I felt like that Nether Sign was dying way too slow. Oh, that's a stun. This is really bad. This is disaster. Really awkward. Okay, so they get one stun. If they get the second stun, it's so omega over. But it's 20 seconds. The boss is melting. They have a guy at 168, guy at 127. Are they resetting? I think they're giving up. Because they fucked that stun up. Is it wipe? It low-key feels like wipe. No? If it is a wipe, they're yeah, it is. They're calling it. They're calling it. Yeah, terrible stun, terrible stun. Sadly, kinda terrible damage profile on the Drakes as well. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be flaming, but I feel like they could do a better job on the Drakes. Yes, we will see, we will see. Alright. While we wait for Numen to gather their mental, which is shattered all over the place, let's see what you guys said when you thought about when you heard Progress the Guild. Arson says something like the Industrial Revolution, technology improvement. Yeah, I mean, that's a word of progress. That is what the originators of Progress actually were thinking about. Fun fact, I was actually there when the Progress Guild Charter was still made on a private server back in the day. I believe it was the merge between my guild that I was in. I wasn't leadership or anything, but I played in a guild called Praise. That prior to that was called Praise the Sun on Chronos 2. Shout out to anybody playing on that server. But then we were called Praise on another server. We merged with a guild called Demise. And we became Progress. And then we played on a couple of private servers. Then when Classic was announced, they got the gang back together. I was out by that point, by the way. I went and played RAF private servers instead. So I had long gone left that scene. But yeah, that's where it came from. Cadet is Progress Soul, or I don't know who that is. Stet is Progress at this point. I think Stet is has always streamed many of the important raids of Progress, and I think he's almost always been showcased on the Wowhead news articles whenever Progress achieved anything. So I would definitely say that Stat, he's been around for a while. What was tier 6 the first time Stat was like the poster boy of progress? Tier 6? Black Temple? I don't know. Maybe. Father says, funny that I was playing with Fuzzy back in TBC, we were both in a Giga casual guild. Yeah, it's funny where people come from and they end up in progress. Somebody is smoking loud outside of my apartment, I think. What the fuck? Oh, looks like we have a pull timer. Ooga booga. Let's go. We are off. Let's fucking go, boys. Undulatus once again. Okay, so kill the orphaned emerald drakes fast as fuck. Commit at least one combust to that. Let's see. He has their nameplates hidden. Fucking based. Yes, we have Frost Kebab committing to the combust. Now the Time Warden. Oh, we have a mage over aggroing. No, the Frost Kebab had to stop his cast to survive. Okay, we're still on. Time Warden is kind of low. I like the way that the Storm Rider is also dropping. Very good, promising. Okay. It takes so long to kill the Time Warden. I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely not doing their best at killing that. Again, super important that these drakes die, increases the damage down to Halfus. The more damage you do to Halfus, the more damage you can spread to the other drakes. So every one of these that die really, really helps killing the rest. Alright. Boss done in 12 seconds. Boss is at 70%. This is very awkward. Nether Scion is still very healthy. Stun. Oh, this is bad. I don't know if they can commit to this. Alright, he's stunned. Let's see what happens with this roar. Now the damaging profile is ramping up. There comes this furious roar. One roar might be acceptable if they get a good stun. Now, boss needs to die prior to this. Can they keep everybody alive? They don't have almost anybody above 150k. Numen is really struggling with Halfus. We will see what the timer looks like here. This is compared to the old Progress World Record. Plus 19. Let me just switch point of view here. I think this guy has the... Bye! Okay, we're here. So that is with the old timer. Okay, let's see. Last time they completely fucked their run when they got the fire elemental here. Let's see. Which are they getting, the dark one or the fire one? Fire. Better handle this time. I think that was a priest who did that. Yeah, that was definitely a priest. Now they got the big trash pack pull. So they're doing a double pack here, which is kinda interesting. Alright, now it's time to stress test everybody's CPU. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All cylinders. Oh my fucking god, dude. They must have committed at least 3 combusts here. Possibly even more. You got the Hunter doing over 100k. That is pretty decent Hunter pull. I like it a lot. Okay. So they're dropping combat here again, allowing them to possibly do a pre-pull. A pre-put. Oh, slow engage. He wanted to get the army off. It's probably gonna be worth it in the end. Using the nade. Okay. So the Thuralian Valiona that they had prior, in their personal best, it's a really good one. But the way the Progress does this, they drag trash into the boss, making the boss fight take slightly longer, but they engage faster. Whereas Numen is totally committing to clearing off the trash, get a potion on the start, get a second pot later on into the fight. That is something that Progress is sacrificing. Damage profile so far, you have the Elemental Shaman going over 40k already. That's nice. Being over 40k without having engulfing is really good. Good opener. Here you can really see the value of stacking a lot of unholy DKs that Numen seems to be doing. Progress is playing a more of a mage heavy squad. Moonkin having a decent start. If you are above 32, 33k, most classes are considered to be doing pretty good here. But if you have a couple of people doing over 40k, that is really picking up the slack for some of the weaker classes. Okay, so the next phase is very important for the sake of DPS. There's gonna be a deep debuff going out that is called Engulfing. But Engulfing isn't only a raid damaging ability, it also increases the damage done of the person who gets it. So let's see. See, Engulfing magic going out. This is the Meteorite, completely irrelevant to the raid DPS. You want this on the Shaman, that's the dream. Let's see if the raid frames pick it up. Okay, you got the Elemental Shaman and the Hunter. The Elemental Shaman is huge. Elemental Shaman is doing 41.5. They're lusting now as well. So they're waiting for the Engulfing and then lusting for the Elemental Shaman. 44k raid DPS on the Elemental Shaman with the Engulfing plus Lust. This is a very creative way of using Lust. Let's see, next Engulfing Flames is in 10 seconds. If the Shaman can catch the second Engulfing now, he will pop the fuck off, as the kids would say. Let's see here. 1 second. I don't see it on any raid frames yet. Okay, we got triple mage, exactly the same as the previous one. It's really good if the mages get it now, because they have their execute damage coming in as well. So, excellent. If it would have been the other way around, it wouldn't have been nearly as good. We got Cancel being high on the damage meters. I would expect other mages start appearing soon. Okay, you got 3 of the mages. All of the mages with Engulfing are appearing now on your damage meters. Really, really nice. Are they gonna get one more Engulfing before the Deep Breath? Deep Breath in 10 seconds, Engulfing in 4. Drake is flying away. Okay, this is an important Engulfing. Let's see who gets it. Now you want single target DPSing classes. We got Mage, Moonkin, and Priest. Priest getting Engulfing is Giga Grief. 1 DK is dead. So they got 2 good Engulfings and 1 bad one. Alright. Avoiding the deep breaths, of course. Ideally, you want the path towards Ascendant Council to be clear now. So right now, you can't pre-position on the way to Council. 2%. Now they could technically pre-position towards where they want to exit. So you can see them running. Some guy used rocket boots, kinda papaya, who cares? Nice catch-up. They gained 12 seconds on the old Progress world record, so not on the current one. I believe if they were to compare to the current world record, they would still be behind. Okay. You can have deaths on this trash if the tanks decide to grief or if you're not paying attention. So now, let's see. Wash your feet. Very nice. Nobody died. Didn't commit any raid CDs either. Very clean, very clean. Okay, this is a bit of a risky pull. Last time they did it great. We're probably gonna see all of the mages commit to using their AoE here. Let's see. The only thing that can go terribly wrong here is if you eat the stun, because then all of your mitigation goes out the window. Very fast gathering of the mobs. I like it a lot. Shockwave, fine. Barrier is out. IBF is out. Avoid the stun. See the mage damage at your bottom right, couple of mages over 100k, the warrior blade storming sitting at 80k. This just goes to show how incredibly broken mages are. It's crazy. I hate this expansion. So it looks like a really clean setup, but this is the dangerous part. They need to finish it up soon. Looks good, looks good. Warrior over aggro, he's fine. Okay, last time they were a bit slow here. Let's see if they just immediately pre-pot into pull. Committing all of the raid DPS on Feludius is smart on the start because you are gonna have a lot of damage coming in onto Ignatius once you get access to the buff. So let's see. Doing damage on Feludius, putting it slightly ahead of Ignatius. But then we are gonna get the buff soon. We're gonna see it from a DK melee point of view. Now, watch the damage meter and you'll see all of the Death Knights just going crazy. So they're doing increased damage to Ignatius right now. And here we go. The guy we're watching right now, his name is Weesin. So if you just want to see how he's performing, you got him on your damage meter right now. Here you can really see the strength of the DK heavy squad. Around now, you would really like to see a swap. Still doing more damage to Ignatius, Feludius damage coming in now. Perfect timing. Now, how low can they put these bosses? 37% on Ignatius. Feludius is probably going to be the one to get pushed. 30, 25, pushing. So now it's all about getting it as low as you possibly can. All that damage matters. Much better than before. You got it 16%. The other guy was at 29. Really clean. Now, what you want to see is that you want to see ranged players getting the rod so that they can go out, keep doing damage. If too many melee players get the rod, they will lose uptime. And the melee players are incredibly good on 2 targets, especially the rogue. This phase, I really feel like rogue is shining. And you can't say that for many fights, sadly. Okay, they're skipping going for the buff actually. They're using defensives instead. They don't even go and take it. Are they even gonna push now? Before, are they just gonna completely skip the buffs? This is very, very aggressive Ascendant Council. So what I think what they're gonna do is that they're gonna try to push one of them below 25%. So they have 9 seconds to do that. Otherwise, this is gonna get incredibly nasty. This is... Woo! The Thunder Shock can happen. Oh, and they push. Nice. Well, the damage was there. They made it just fine. So they have a couple of people over 40k DPS at this point. Now they are gonna lust and they're gonna finish off this council. We've seen Numen wipe here before. Traditionally what they wipe to is that they have a healer dead and then they can't keep people up at the end. Let's see. That's a lust. The start of this phase is usually very low paced. There's nothing dangerous going on. You just push, 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 push. There's a lot of Death Knights having a really good pull here. The fact that they don't commit to dragging the Ascendant Council weirdly makes this so much easier for them. Okay, that is 2 mages and 1 elemental shaman. If they can keep them alive, it's pretty good. Okay, one of them dies. Probably from the fall damage. That is kind of awkward. You can use both the cloak and blink to avoid that fall damage. Now it's important that they push, 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 push. 2% gravity crush happening in 1 second now. Nice. Okay, so 1 mage died twice. That's really good. They gained 8 seconds on the old progress world record. Rocket boost being used to engage faster. Let's see what the paladin is doing. The paladin is gonna try to run past these 2 mobs. And we're gonna see just what he does. So we see a trinket swap coming in from the Death Knight here to delay his ICDs to have it on the boss pull, I believe. Nice to see, nice to see. I used to really enjoy watching Nord, DK from Nota, that used to do a lot of really nice Death Knight min-maxing back when you only played with 1 Death Knight in ICC speedrunning. Now we have 6 Death Knights. And basically what that creates is that if all 6 of those Death Knights are playing optimally, that will have a huge impact. Okay, that's a Portal Shaper on the outside being very healthy. You see purple plate there that is way too high. committing damage to the Faceless Guardian, as it has absolutely more health than the Twilight Portal Shapers, relatively having more percentage health, but a lower absolute number. Oh, that's annoying! That's like 4 seconds lost right there. 4 seconds at the end of the day, what does that mean? Well, it could have been avoided. 4 seconds on a boss fight is very hard to gain, but 4 seconds on trash, very easy to lose. Okay. I liked Numen's Cho'Gall historically, but I didn't like it in the previous run. So let's really see what they end up doing here. It's very important for Numen that they manage to get hit by crashes correctly, as when they do get hit by the correct crashes, that enables them to go insane much faster. Hope you guys are having a lovely evening. I'm just gonna quickly grab a drink. Alright, so these are the crashes that we really want to look at. This is what we really want to see. Adherence coming in. Okay. Really important that all of the people going insane are 100% health when they go insane. Because we saw late stage into this how we saw multiple casualties. So you got a couple of mages going low here. They are a bit low when transforming. They're trying to top them as much as they possibly can. One mage still... Okay, they're all transformed. Pretty healthy transitioning. The first mage is struggling a little bit though. Okay. They commit one sacrifice for the lock, one sacrifice for the elemental shaman, and the mages all block the first Shadow Nova. So if you're wondering how they're surviving this, there you have it. Pushing great damage here. The Elemental Shaman is definitely helping out. The reason why Elemental Shaman is pretty good at this is because once he dies, he can just tank. And he's back. He's not going to be doing the same damage, but in the same way as mages can survive for a long time, Elemental Shamans, they can just commit to actually dying. Alright, let's see here. 35%. Adherents are coming in. Death Knights are taking so much avoidable damage here. Warrior is dead. Feral is dead. Adherents getting tanked by the main tank. One mage is dead. This might spell disaster for Numen. One Holy Pala is dead. Ah, shit. Okay. This is gonna be really impressive actually if they manage to do this. Creations are coming up. That's not really scary. What we're gonna see now is probably a Link totem connecting. We're gonna see here, Link is gonna come first, and then we're gonna have multiple aim sets. Staying alive, boss at 12%. This is usually when people start dying. Mage dead, Look dead. No, Look still fine. One mage dead. Elemental Shaman anking. 9%. All mages dead. All Looks are dead. Not having the Holy Pala is extremely punishing. The priest dies. Down to one Resto Shaman. Boss is at 6%. This might be a raid wipe here. 5%. People are trying to stay alive as much as they can. Death Knights being extremely tanky, of course. But this is taking way too long. Here comes all the small tentacles. Tank still alive. I think they're gonna push it. Boss is dead. Who's gonna be mass resing? Holy Pala gets combat rest and is now mass resing. This is a bit dangerous when you jump down as well. They lose 8 seconds to the old Progress World Record. Let's see if they have any more. If you die now when falling down, you're gonna have a rest timer. So it's very important that nobody dies here. Good. Everybody taking the shortest distance they could. Not having access to food buffs here is probably gonna hurt their kill time. Any buff that you're missing when doing Sinestra Let's see, the time to die says 2.5 minutes. That is gonna be probably a PB, I would say. It's gonna be low 23, maybe? You guys agree with me when I say that? Death Knight's moving to the side, getting their golems up. The ghouls. This. It's really nice if you look at the armies on the left side, the way that they are not attacking the whelps. And just as I say that, a raid party of like 40 ghouls just leap to the Twilight whelps. Nicely done, tank. Really good awareness. I love that. That is awesome. Great tanking. Love that. Alright, 1:14 on the time to die. PB for sure. But the world record is definitely slipped. I think the best section that I saw was actually Halfus to Thuralion and Valion. I think that was Numen's best section. I really am not a great fan of how they do the Cho'Gall trash or the Ascended Khausen trash. But who knows? Maybe we'll see next week if they can execute it more cleanly than they did today, or if they have a different strategy altogether. Just really happy that guilds aren't doing blackout streams at this point, so that we get to see these guilds trying to min-max this content. It's definitely gonna be a PB here, 3 more %, 22 and 51. Alright, so around 1 minute. That's really nice. That's really nice. Congratulations to Numen on their personal best, but I'm pretty sure they feel as if they have more in the tank. Pretty sure they feel that way. Alright guys, I think that is the speedrunning for today that I wanted to cover. I'm very happy to be back and doing these type of coverages for you guys. I'm hoping to be able to do this at least a weekly thing, if it turns out that other guilds are starting to appear on the leaderboards. I'm thinking we start covering them as well, because I think that progress is currently in the driving seat, but if there's anything I can do to shine a light on this community that tries to go as fast as they can in classic content, I would love to do that. So if you guys find any other guilds that are really trying to push hard, make sure you post them in my community Discord so I can start to get a bit familiar with their streamers and stuff as well, so that we can maybe get more content, more competitive guilds, and bring more lights on the scene, more eyes on the scene. Jesper says, is Botanica the main attraction of speedrunning in tier 11? Yes, it is. Alright, thank you so much, everybody who kept me company today. Make sure you follow the stream. I'll be back showcasing tomorrow. I'll be playing splits. I was away all weekend. I was away Thursday. I wasn't playing any fast runs, but tomorrow I'll be playing splits with my guild. So if you want to see really high octane enhancement shaman bottom of the meters gameplay, fuck yeah, dude. Jet MTG says, are 13 out of 13 speedruns not a thing? It's not a thing, because going in between the instances is a sort of logistical nightmare, and it's also hard to set up the combat logs in a way that they meaningfully track that transition. So one instance, one speedrun. That is why Firelands is gonna be so much better for this. Alright. If you have any finishing questions for me, anything that you're wondering, now is the time. I'm about to go to bed. Tomorrow, going to work. And then in the evening, be back with the stream for you guys. Mursu... Oh my god, what a name. Mursumar Sonursu says, so I guess the real speedrun start next raid tier. No, I think they're... Botanica, Bastion of Twilight is definitely getting speedrun. Multi says, when's Firelands coming? Nobody really knows. We don't have PTR yet. but most people think early fall, so September, October is a good guess. Cop7 says, when is the new iceberg video? Yeah, I got a bit overwhelmed with work now that the students are coming back to the university, so I don't know when I'll finish it, but I will finish it. Are you gonna post a VOD? I missed an hour due to cringe work. I will post a VOD on my YouTube. Gonna publish it right now. So, that's it. This is gonna be me from the void signing out. Until next time, I'm out. Bye guys!
We gotta take a minute to pick up the sound.
Good night.